Hello and welcome to another book review. Today's review was a long time coming. I believe I was reading this book for more than 3 months, and that's not because it was bad. It was very good, but it was because it was very stressful and I didn't have a lot of time. And it's this big, okay? I don't know. But anyway, it was The Fragile Threads of Power by V.E. Schwab. And this is the UK edition, which has the cover that matches the original trilogy, which I cherish so very much. And it's obviously got the sprayed edges, it's signed, it's everything. But I did end up actually reading this copy, which I got for $8. Still can't get over that. This is the US edition with the new covers that they did. I don't like the new cover, I'm sorry. I mean, it's beautiful, but for me, it doesn't match the vibe of these books or V.E. Schwab in general, but that's just me. For those of you who don't know, The Fragile Threads of Power is the first book in a sequel trilogy to A Darker Shade of Magic. Yeah. So, basically, The Fragile Threads of Power is set 7 years after the final book, A Conjuring of Light, and all the characters that survived A Conjuring of Light are featured in this book. So without spoilers, that's the thing. And it was amazing. It was 5 stars. It was so freaking stressful. The plot twists, the angst, the pain. I can't. Like, I really can't even. I haven't written the Goodreads review for this yet because I couldn't figure out how to put my feelings into words, and I'm sure that this video is going to be very rambly and just a lot of me saying nothing really, but I'm going to try. And again, this is the first book in a sequel series, so it's really hard to talk about it without spoiling the original trilogy. But all I will say is that it complemented the original trilogy very well. If you've watched certain shows or animes where they do kind of Next Generation or whatever, and it feels like they completely kneecap all the old characters so that the conflicts will seem real and important, that does not happen in this. Again, it's only 7 years later, so it's not like they're all old, and we're talking about their kids now. The main characters from the original trilogy are still there, still kicking butt. But I don't know, it's just them 2.0. We get to it was so nice to go back to this world, to go back to these characters, to see where they've been over the last 7 years, to see how much they've grown, because they were 18 and now they're 25 to 30, which is interesting because I was a late teen when I was first reading the trilogy, and now I'm 26, so it's we all said goodbye and then picked back up right where we left off at the same time in our lives. Obviously my life is not quite so friggin' scary as theirs, but yeah, it was so nice. It felt like coming home. But then with that came the terror that we now have a new 644 pages of time for things to go horribly wrong for all of them when, they had a nice happy ending before. So, yeah, it was very stressful. I was constantly oh my god, what if she kills off my favorite characters? They had happy endings in my brain for 7 years, and now everything is back on the edge of a blade and I don't know what's gonna happen. And then she also wove in new characters and new perspectives. I was just on my edge of my seat the whole time, really. Again, I didn't put it down because I got bored or confused. I couldn't stand the tension in my veins. It was too much. But it was really well done. I probably said that 6 times in this video already, I realized, but I'm going to say it again. It was really well done. The way she weaves together the storylines is just absolute perfection. And as an author, I just can't even wrap my head around how she does it. because, like, so it's told in multiple points of view, third person. So, like, in the main trilogy, you get Lila, you get Kel, you get Rye, you get Alucard, you get the king, you get like a stable boy who happens for like one, like some of these points of view they get like one chapter, but they tell a part of the story that nobody else would have seen. And she weaves together all these points of view in a way that tells the best story, but also like keeps things from you at certain points. So like you might not know about this thing that happened because she switched from his perspective to the other person's perspective. And conversely, there's things where you know that that character did something, but you also know that this character doesn't know about that yet, and so you get stressed because you know, but they don't know, and you're like, oh my god, you're asking the wrong questions, or whatever it is. So it's very stressful in that way. But it also, she skips around in time. And so you'll get like 3 years ago, or 2 months ago, or yesterday, but also the present day at the same time. And all these different characters have their backstories weaved in, and you also get filling in of what has happened in the past 7 years where you've not been there. But obviously, it doesn't tell you everything, so it's like, what don't I know still? And then just the way she weaves in certain little details, and I don't know if it's just because I'm an author, but like I picked up on some things. Like, she mentioned something near the beginning of the book, and I was like, oh my god, I know this thing and I know that, and because she just said that, that means that this might happen later. And I was like, oh my god, like I was like weaving together these plot twists as they were happening, and yet there was still so much that I did not expect in the best possible way. And the end of this book was just, it was mind-blowing and stressful. And there's like, again, there's like the character that's evil, like they don't know, they don't know who it is, but now I know who it is. In like the last chapter you find out, and I'm just like, oh my god, somebody just find out, somebody do something. But yeah, needless to say, I'm on the edge of my seat for the sequel to this. Whenever it comes out, I will be sat. I will be stressed as fuck. But I will be sat and ready to continue Kel, Lila, Rye, Alucard, and Tess's story. And yeah, you definitely should read this series if you are into epic fantasy, elemental magic, morally great characters, multiple points of view, dimensional travel, all of it. It has all of it. And found family. But for the love of God, if you listen to nothing else I say in this video, do not read this book first. Full stop, okay? Full stop. I know V.E. Schwab herself says you can start here, and her publisher says you can start here, and all the marketing says she's written this to be, well enough understandable, but it spoils what happens at the end of book 3. So like you can't go back and read the original trilogy with the same level of, I don't know what it is, but like, because you'll know what happens, right? So, and there's also just like, you won't be confused on a really deep level, but like there's just some things like I can't imagine going into this without knowing these things that I knew going into it, like just because there's this there's this scene halfway through the book where this character shows up, and if you haven't read the original trilogy, it doesn't hit you with the same gut-wrenching oh my god, because you won't know that this character is supposed to be dead. And I can't imagine reading this and not knowing that that character is not supposed to be there. Like, I cannot. So if you listen to nothing else, like, honestly, like, I highly, highly, highly recommend reading the original trilogy first. You will enjoy this so much more. It'll probably be so much more painful, but also so much more rewarding. And there's just little pieces that you'll be more privy to, and I can't. The thought of this being your introduction, I mean, it's still a really good book, but like you wouldn't be able to properly go back and read the others. It's just not the right order, okay? You need to start with A Darker Shade of Magic, then A Gathering of Shadows, then A Conjuring of Light, and then The Fragile Threads of Power, okay? Alright. Yeah, that is my long-winded rant of probably a lot of nothing. 5 stars. 5 stars.